Hi, my name is April, and this is how I am surviving during inflation. I've done videos about my electric bill, and I posted a short where I've gotten my electric bill down to $68. I did one on my water bill, and I'll post a picture of what my water bill is when it arrives in the mail. So now I'm doing one on natural gas. There are several tips. There are several websites you can get on the National Department of Energy website. You can get on your gas company's websites. You can get on state and city websites to all give you tips about how to conserve natural gas. The first thing you need to do is make a list of everything that uses natural gas in your home. Like an energy audit. So, for instance, in my home, what uses natural gas would be I have 2 natural gas heaters, I have a stove with an oven, and I have a hot water tank. We're in the process of switching over to electrical. So, when I had natural gas, there's things that you can do to keep your bill smaller. And you make a list of all of your appliances and how much do you use those appliances, how often. If you're trying to cut your water bill down and you're taking a bath every other day, that will also conserve on your gas usage if you have a gas hot water tank. Inspect all your appliances. Check the lines that go to the little nipple in the wall for leaks, or have somebody do it for you that knows how to do those things that you can trust. I usually have my dad do it before winter starts because my dad had a lot of certifications and he knew all those things. Um, a, Proper insulation. Check your window caulking. That stuff gets old, it dries, it shrinks. It'll leak out your heat and it'll let the cold in. Check those foam rubbing rubber, can't think of the name right now, goes around your doors. It's like an insulation, and it helps seal the door so that there's no cold air in, no hot air loss. So check your windows, check your doors, check around your outlets. Sometimes they get a little loose and you can feel cold air. Just walk around your house and, see if you can feel a draft. I kept feeling a draft in my kitchen. I finally found it. There was a little space that was cut above the refrigerator, and I don't even know what that space was for. It was there when I bought the house. Somebody told me it was where they had a stove and they had vented the stove through the roof there. I boarded it up. And now that it's boarded up, I don't have a draft coming out of the kitchen anymore, which is nice, you know. So just kind of walk around real slow and see where you can find any drafts, any cold air, block it up, you know. Proper insulation. If you own your home and you have a crawl space above your house, check your insulation. When you buy the house, it's got insulation, it's fine. But as time goes by, that stuff wears out, it gets thin. You get like critters, like squirrels, whatever. They'll steal that stuff and haul off with it. I replaced the insulation in my crawl space above my house a couple years ago. It The hardest part about it is that you got to make sure you wear gloves and a breathing mask, because that stuff will make you sick if you breathe it in. So I put that down myself, and the old stuff I took out. We have squirrels in my part of town, and they will get up there in those little breathing louver vent windows they've gotten in, and they swiped some. So I replaced it, and it made a big difference on my gas bill. For many years, my gas bill would fluctuate between like $95 to, in the summertime, it'd be maybe $15. So, check your insulation. If you have insulation in your walls, check your warranty, check and see if, well, okay, we insulated the walls, and maybe it's time, because things get old, everything crumbles over time. Maybe you need to get some more put in there. Adjust your thermostat. That National Department of Energy website says that dropping your thermostat by 2 degrees can save you 6% on your gas bill. Maintain your furnace. Starting in the warmer months, get you new filters. I learned this from a landlord. We had a furnace many years ago, and every September she would come and put new filters. And she told me those filters, they get old, they get dusty, and like I said, in West Texas, you got to check your filters often, because we get a lot of sandstorms. Even in the wintertime, we get a lot of dust, so those filters get clogged up, and they're not that expensive. Just pull it out, put in a new one. I had a really good landlord. Every couple of months, she would come and check those filters to make sure we was getting enough warmth, and that the furnace was getting the proper airflow so that it worked right, and so that we could also have a good gas bill. Check your gas lines for leaks, or pay a plumber. It's not that expensive to have a plumber come out and do a gas check on all of your things. If you have a gas leak, that's going to make a really bad bill. Back to your furnace. Keeping your furnace clean is not only a safety issue, but she would have maintenance come after they changed out the filters. It had a little pilot where it kept a burner burning. They would take that burner out, and they would clean that burner to make sure it was burning efficiently. They would clean the pilot to make sure that it was getting enough gas flow to burn right. So maintain your furnaces. Maintain your gas heaters. Check the plug-ins and make sure that, the line isn't leaking. You may have it like in the living room, and, you don't know. Like when I had my kids were little, we would constantly, in September, we would just soap it up with soapy water and check it real good, because my dad was always afraid it would leak and then the kids would get sick. So check all of that, make sure it's burning efficiently. My dad would check he would clean out, because in the summertime, dust build up and stuff. He'd clean all of that real good for me. And so, he was a great grandpa. Use cooling fans, ceiling fans. If you have ceiling fans, hot air rises, cold air falls. So you turn on the ceiling fan and you put it in reverse. Even if you can't put it in reverse, it will spin and it will mix that cold air with the hot air. And as the hot air is rising, it will make that hot air kind of twist, and it'll mix faster. So the upper half of your rooms will get warmer quicker and stay warmer, which will help keep your heating bill low, your gas bill low, because the warmer it is, your house is insulated, your house will hold that heat. So the furnace isn't always burning. You don't have to have your gas heaters wide open. You can cut them down to the smaller ones. And that'll also move it from room to room to room. If you're just like using a space heater, those fans will move that heat through the house. And like what I did when my kids were growing up, I had box fans and I had oscillating fans on the stands. And I'd put those throughout the house, blowing in one direction. And like the living room had the main big gas heater. So I would set it to where that heat from that gas heater was actually being drafted through the house and helping to warm all the other rooms. So that really worked for us. I didn't have to have a heater in the dining room. I didn't have to have a heater on in the kitchen until it got like dark. So it really helped a lot. It just circulating that heat does major. Close your windows and doors. I mean, that's a basic thing we all know, but you would be surprised. A year or so ago, my oldest daughter stayed here for a little bit. She's constantly in and out with her friends. We cannot keep the house warm. We cannot keep the living room warm. And I kept telling her friends, y'all need to stop running in and out so much because you're letting all the heat out. And, them being, 19, 20, they just wasn't thinking about it. They were just excited that their friend was back in town, and they were, so you really can't blame them, but cover your windows, cover your doors. If you can't go out and buy thermal curtains, if you can't go out and get like wooden blinds, get you old blankets. Save your towels. Take your old blankets. It doesn't, if they're ratty a little bit or stained a little bit, you can always face that to the wall and put the good side to the room. Tuck it over the curtain rod a good ways. And there you go. That quilt, that blanket adds a layer, because those windows radiate the cold, and that cold will come in. I started putting blankets over when my daughter was little, over her bedroom windows, over her curtains. That room was almost 20 degrees warmer. I put blankets over all of my windows all through the house, and it's 20 degrees warmer. It knocked off all of that cold, and it helped retain the heat. So when I come home from work and fire up the gas heater, it's got 4 little bricks, 4 settings. All 4 of them were lit up. As soon as it started getting warm and comfortable, I could turn it down to 1. Put it down on the 1 setting and just have 1 little brick lit up. And it was warm. And we saved a lot of money that way. Like right now, I have a blanket over my front door. And it keeps out, you can feel the cold. Even with the weather stripping around the frame, you can still feel some of that cold coming in. I put that blanket up. Oh, yeah, it looks kind of, yeah, but when you're cold, who cares what it looks like, right? And when you're saving money, I don't care what it looks like. I'm saving money. I'm staying warm. So I got it covered up. Save your old towels. Sew them together. And use them as another layer over your curtains. I had done double curtain rails above on my windows and hang one set of curtains, and then above that I put another curtain rod